Hi class. We are on week 7, vlog 7, and we're here to discuss 3 important characteristics for good measurements. And I chose 3, and I'm going to explain each one. All right. So first one I chose is uniqueness. Uniqueness refers to how detailed something is or how distinct it is from something else. So when it comes to data and adverse events or near misses, there has to be a level of detail and distinctness between the different datas that shows up. So like, for example, adverse event would be something unique because that is something that doesn't usually happen. And when it does happen, you can easily identify that it's different from the status quo, right? For an example, risk management. Let's say a patient slips and falls. That is a unique event. That doesn't usually happen on a day-to-day basis in regular operations. That level of detail can conclude because there was something on the floor and it caused the patient to fall. That's not something normal or happens all the time, right? The next one I chose was validity. And with that, it assures that the data is actually measuring what needs to be measured. So another example that can go for validity, let's say there's a question and there's only a couple answers for a couple choices for that question. It's a question that someone can ask, like, what is the color of apples, right? Apples can be red, green, yellow. And what makes it valid is because that's something that happens consistently, right? There's no other answer besides that. So you know it's valid because at the end of the day, it is only those certain colors that apple can be, right? So with that, you can see the quality of the data from that if it sticks to certain things, right? So, and the third one I'm going to be the third one is reliability. Is it consistent over time, right? So when it comes to collecting data, you have sources, and those sources are consistent. You're consistently collecting data from those sources, right? And it's because you trust those sources. Without the trust behind those sources, you wouldn't know if the data you get from them even is true or makes sense. And since those sources are reliable and consistent, any other source outside of that with differing information, you can conclude that it's wrong. Like Wikipedia, that's not something consistent, even though it's easily accessible. It changes because users change that. And you could easily find a journal that can go against what you find on a Wikipedia article, right? And that journal is reliable. Every time you go to that journal and pick out an article, it has something. The data behind it is reliable, it's true, it's valid, and it's consistent. You're consistently getting the correct information compared to a different type of source. So I would think those top 3 were good measures and metrics. good characteristics of good measures and metrics. Without those three and the other ones that were posted, it would be hard to measure, to have a measurement of even data. You need quality. You need to have a metric system and a checkoff list. Looking forward to hearing any opinions and the rest of your blogs. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks.